This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Doing great. Oh, I mean, if you're Mario Cristobal this morning, I think you're dork dancing in your bathroom. You're kind of like just the whole world, the whole college football world is going great for you right now, man. You got the Gators.
Although you know Mario, he's not buying that shit after 1 week. He's just not. He's been at this way too long, bro. You know he's
you don't think every once in a while he has a moment of weakness where he's just sitting there looking in the mirror, dancing out, kind of doing the.
No, he did it on the sideline when he did that chop thing on his leg, right? That was a man releasing 2 years of frustration, all the shit he's had to deal with.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And cleaning out the roster and obviously the Georgia Tech fiasco for him was, my God, that must have been, he must have not slept for 3 days having to go through that embarrassment and all that shit. So, you can understand it. But let me run this by you here because before we start talking about the U, let me talk about FSU yesterday.
Yes.
First of all, you play baseball, right?
Of course.
So this is how it went. I mean, this is how I was taught baseball, right? First, you play baseball, and you learn how to hit the ball. And now when you learn how to hit the ball, the coach goes to you, all right, now I'm going to teach you how to pull. I'm going to teach you how to hit opposite field. You got to learn how to stand. You got to make sure you got the right pitch on the outside so you can drive it to the opposite field. When you know how to control your bat, now I can teach you how to bunt, right? You can't do any of that other shit until you learn how to hit the ball first and foremost, until your hand-eye coordination is exceptional. Then I can ask you to start doing some other shit, right? Correct?
Of course. Correct.
Okay. All right. So in football, let me tell you something. Before you think you're fucking Dan Quisenberry or Ken Sicovey, okay, first you learn how to throw over your head accurately on a consistent basis. So that way you know how to control your arm. You have the accuracy. So now you can control it this way and all that. I'm watching DJ Ukulele and his coaches. Oh, well, he's not, and they're not, well, he's not trying the sidearm. Bro, the guy can't throw straight with a normal throw. First, teach him how to throw straight first. There's no way you learn how to become an accurate passer when you don't even know how to do it right the first way, the right way. Correct. Over your head, learn touch, learn how to throw, over somebody. Dude, learn how to play the game the right way first before you can become Pat Mahomes.
100%.
Wow, the stupidity is beyond belief watching that last night. Seriously, dude.
No, listen, and this is the thing, it's nothing new. Oh, like this guy coming into this season, and I put this stat in my preseason story about FSU. Completed 74% of his passes within 9 yards of the line of scrimmage. If you're a quarterback, you should be able to do that. But 51% beyond 10 yards. I mean, you're basically 50-50. And that's the way it feels every time he lets go of the ball. Sometimes lower than that, if we're being honest. Because it just he really cannot throw outside of the hashes consistently. You look at his career numbers, they're terrible on the outside. He's not a NFL quarterback. And some guys aren't. Some guys aren't. No, and listen, he's barely a good college quarterback. But the one thing I would say FSU is doing to limit themselves is not using his body. The guy's 6'5", 250 pounds. He used to run. And you know what? He's not running now. And it's like, imagine Tim Tebow playing quarterback back in the day with the Gators and say, well, he's not going to run. He's never going to use his legs. Like, that's what you're seeing with FSU right now. It's the same type of concept. And to me, that's what blows me away about this. Mike Norvell and this coaching staff did a phenomenal job last year. They got the players they needed. They coached them up, put them in position to succeed. How you don't have this guy running the ball 10 to 15 to 20 times a game is just severely limiting your offense. And, he is what he is. DJU is what he is.
Yeah, he is absolutely terrible, and their season is absolutely done. By the way, don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button while you're watching, and when you visit our friends at Caneswear, use our code BIGO10. You will get 10% off, and if you order online, by the way, over $99, you will get free shipping. So you can get Canes stuff, anything and everything practically with a Canes logo, and of course they got Inter Miami gear. Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat, championship Panthers gear. Look at the hat I bought the other day. That thing is
Beautiful.
absolutely sweet. So you can get it there at Caneswear. So check it out and use our code BIGO10. You will get 10% off. All right. I know it's kind of a bye week this week. In fact,
Maybe a bye month.
yeah, bye month. And with the injuries, you know, with a couple of the injuries, that's the good thing, that you can buy these guys some time. You could get experience for the other guys, and you really shouldn't have an issue with the next 3 games anyways.
Yeah, and really, I mean, look, USF, they've got a really good quarterback. That's the one team that I'm interested to see how they actually do here in the non-conference, because he can run. Byron Brown is a very elusive, dangerous type running quarterback. But outside of that, this is the time to get a lot of young guys experience, because you're going to need them. And that's the thing I think people need to start thinking of now that we've expanded to the 12-team playoff, is that you're going from playing 12 to 13 games a season to 15 to 16 if you're really going to contend for a championship. So that's why recruiting is so important. Like, people would say, oh, it's just about the transfer portal now, right? It's just about, no, you got to have both, dude. You got to be able to get guys out of the portal, and then behind them, you got to be able to develop recruits, so that when those guys get hurt or those frontline players aren't healthy or whatever the case is, you can go to a freshman or a second-year guy that you've been developing, and they're ready to go. And so that's why Mario, behind the scenes, we were all worried, right? Like, hey, what's he doing, right? They need a quarterback. They haven't recruited a good quarterback. They needed to build more depth. They needed more playmakers at receiver. It was all building towards this year. It was all building towards year 3, where now you have your Francis Mauinoas and you have your Ruben Baines, and you got all these guys that you were highly touted high school recruits, and now they're grown men. They're not babies anymore. And so you have a solid foundation. And that's the difference right now between Miami and Florida State and Florida and even Clemson, when you look at it, right? When you compare the teams that Miami would compete against in the league and in their own state, Mario built it foundationally strong, dude, like offensive and defensive line. And that stuff carries week to week to week. And they've got the kind of depth that they need. And that's why Miami fans are ecstatic right now. And that's why the future is bright for this program.
Yeah, man. There's no doubt the future is incredibly bright. And Cam Ward, what I love about him is that he's a passer. He's a quarterback, and then he'll use his legs if he has to. Right. It's not like DJ or Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen or whatever, that in order for them to be effective quarterbacks, they have to use their legs. It's part of their arsenal. They can't just sit there and win from the pocket. Cam can win from the pocket if he feels like it. But if he needs to use his legs, he'll use it to buy time or get you a couple yards. But I love the fact that this guy is a pure passer, bro. Accurate,
and the one thing that Mark Richt was on the ACC post-game show, and Mark Richt's coached a lot of great quarterbacks, obviously, over the years, Georgia and Florida State and Miami. And the one thing he said was that Cam Ward reminds him a lot of Charlie Ward. And if you remember Charlie Ward back in the day, who won the Heisman, Charlie didn't have to run for a bunch of yards, but he knew that he could get away from anybody. And that's the kind of the way, when you watch Cam, that's what he reminds me of too. A guy that just has the kind of elusiveness needed in today's modern game, with the way blitzes come at you from all angles, to sidestep it, to buy time, and he always keeps his eyes downfield. He's not just taking off and running because he panics. He keeps his eyes down the field looking for receivers. And if he needs to, he'll take a nice little slide to the left, slide to the right, and go out of bounds, and he's not going to take a hit. So I think he is, without question, the best quarterback this program has had in a long time.
Yeah, there was that one play where he was getting rushed, and he was just going back, and then just threw it away.
Yep.
And he was just calmly going backwards, and I'm like, okay, this
He's
is
playing a different game, bro.
this guy. This is a different cat right here. That's all I needed to see right there. This is a different cat. He gets it. He doesn't get flustered at all. I mean, this is a
It looks
calm.
casual, dude. It looks
Yeah.
casual, like and he looks like he's kind of poking fun at the defense too. There was a highlight in the middle of the game, and I don't know if you saw this, but somebody sent this to me on social media, where you can see Cam yelling at one of Florida's defensive backs before he snaps the ball, and he's basically telling the guy on defense, "This is where you're supposed to line up." He's telling the DB on the play, "Hey, you're out of position, dude. Move over here." And that just shows you the confidence that this dude plays with, where he knows what the defense is supposed to be. Like that's next level stuff, dude. That's like NFL type stuff.
Oh, the
Where
game's slow. The game is slow.
the game is so slow for him, right?
Slow for him. You can tell the way he plays the game. He's seeing everything that's going on, and then I don't like the throw across your body stuff. Right? He did it 3
It's dangerous.
times.
Yeah.
Yes, it's dangerous if you don't know what the hell you're doing. If you're DJ ukulele, it's dangerous.
Right.
No,
Right.
I'm totally serious.
I know you are. I know you
But
are.
this kid can, if you're going to do it in a stupid fashion on a consistent basis, then it's not going to help you. He doesn't do it in a stupid fashion. They were all very makeable, actually, and he completed 2 of the 3, if I'm correct.
Yeah, the other one got picked off, and it was a ball that
tipped. It was tipped, right?
It was tipped, right? It was deflected. It based. I don't know if it went off his receiver's hand, but certainly it was close enough where if it is a half yard over, it's probably completed. So it wasn't that dangerous.
It was his fault, and he knew it. That's what I liked about it. That I've seen the kids that are like, oh well, and they're like making excuses or whatever, and he was calm, cool, like, hey, that was on me. I got it, And then the next time he tried it, the next 2 times, there was no way it was going to get intercepted. So I kind of understanding what he's all about. And as long as I know you're accurate, I can let you try those kind of things. That's how I would be as a coach. If you're not accurate, I'm ripping your ass on the sidelines every time you try that. You know what I'm saying?
This is all because this kid came from nowhere. He was a 0-star recruit. Okay. 0 ego coming out of high school because nobody in the country wanted him. He ended up at Incarnate Word. And he knew that he had to prove himself. When he went to Washington State, he knew he had to prove himself. When he came to Miami, he said the same thing. I've got to prove myself. Guys that come from that mentality are going to put so much more focus than the guys who get patted on the shoulder and say, man, you're great. You're a 5-star. You're so talented. You're so this, you're so that. It's a different work ethic. It's a different mindset. And so that is what resonates for Cam Ward better than any other trait that he has in that locker room and with that team, because guys respect hard work. Oh, you've been around it your entire career. When you have a Cam Wake, right, who comes from the CFL, or one of these guys who they come from nowhere and they become one of the best, they're beloved because everybody's like, dude, like I can respect this dude because he made this himself.
Yeah, Zach Thomas did the same thing, coming from Texas Tech and a 5th rounder and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. I know that they don't really give you guys as much injury information, but what do you know about Bain and all the other cats and their injuries?
Mario said publicly it was a soft tissue injury. I said this right after the game was over, and I put this on Twitter. To me, he's not going to play the next month. Like, you're not going to need him till Virginia Tech. So we will see where he is. I don't know the complete extent of the injury, how severe it really is. But the fact that he left right on that first series, played 3 snaps, and didn't come back tells you that it's serious enough that he didn't even want to push it, and the staff didn't want to push it. So coaches are always going to lie about the extent of injuries, just the way it is. Butch Davis made a living doing that here. It's in Miami for many years. Mario, was here with Butch. He's not going to tell us what the truth is. And the bottom line is, I think if Ruben Bain had a serious injury, the tone would be much different. So I expect him to come back. I think he will be back. I think Same thing with Damari Brown. Damari Brown, he played with a groin injury all of last season. And people know, I don't think he had surgery for it in the offseason. It was just kind of just a healing thing. So it may be something that just sort of nags at him until he finally decides to have surgery. And then the other injury was to Rodriguez, the left guard, who started and split the reps with Matthew McCoy, left guard, which to me was the one surprise in terms of starters for the game. So, but Mario said he was walking on it. Again, this is the next 2-3 weeks. You're going to see a lot of young guys playing. It's the perfect time to heal up and make this a shorter season.
Okay. What's it called? Miles Deep out in Vegas. He's a big fan. He's asking if we're going to see Elijah Lofton more in the next game to get experience. Obviously,
absolutely.
Your team's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Elijah Lofton is not on the red shirt list for Miami. I think he is a plug and play. We need him. You saw him at the end of the game against Florida make a big catch and run where he had a bunch of dudes that he was carrying on his back. He is, to me, the third string power running back behind Mark Fletcher and Damian Martinez. If one of those two guys goes down, I could see Elijah Lofton slotting in as a power runner in the backfield in that way. And then I would say if something were to happen to Elijah Royal at tight end, Elijah Royal looked great on Saturday. If something were to happen to him, you would see Elijah Lofton elevated to sort of the de facto go-to tight end. So he's very valuable. Miami's not redshirting him. He will play. He will get lots of experience the next couple of weeks and be a weapon.
Right now, I know it's only 1 week, but brother, I mean, like the entire conference is there set for you to take it.
It really is. And, I don't want to jump too far ahead and be like, look, Miami's definitely 100% winning the conference. But on paper, they are the most talented team, the best looking team to this point. I'm not going to, just bury Jeff Braun because the guy came into Miami's house last year and beat them with an inferior roster. That Louisville roster, not as good as Miami's. And they beat Mario Cristobal in his house head to head. So you got to give Louisville respect. I think Georgia Tech, Brent Key has done a great job upgrading their offensive line. Their offensive line is legitimately good. Their quarterback is a solid college quarterback, Haynes King. I like Jamal Haynes in the backfield for them. They've got playmakers. So I'm not going to sit here and just say, oh, Miami's running the table because we've seen these guys disappoint us before. But, my expectation going forward is that they should win the remainder of their regular season games. They should, because to me, they're with Cam Ward healthy and the defensive line that they've got, they should beat everybody on their schedule until we get to the college football playoff, and then we'll see who they end up playing.
All right, good stuff. What do you got going on in the athletics so folks can check you out?
Yeah, well, I wrote a column on every single team in the state this weekend. I had one on Florida, one on Miami, and then one on Florida State that came out this morning talking about Mike Norvell and the situation there. I'm going to have my oddly specific predictions coming out on Thursday. I'll have an ACC Power Rankings with Grace Rayner that comes out Friday, and I'm going to be recording another Wide Right podcast. I had one with Susan Miller-Degnan that I did yesterday that people can check out on YouTube, but there will be another one with.
How was the road trip?
It was fun. It was fun. We ended up staying. Where was it? Claremont. I got an Airbnb there, and we ended up having fun. Went out to dinner in Lakeland. Ate at my favorite steakhouse, Texas Cattle Company there in Lakeland, where I went for many, many years when I covered the state basketball and wrestling tournaments at the high school level, and just a great little place. And we had a good time at the games. Susan's son Bernie, who's a doctor and lives in Orlando. He came to hang out with us and had dinner Friday night, and then was at the state. Him and his girlfriend, fiance, are both doctors. She worked till 7 a.m. the day of the game, got in the car with him, and drove to Gainesville to be there. So they had a great time, took a lot of pictures, and it was a fun experience, man.
Cool, man. It was good to see her back on the beat there.
She had a blast. She had a blast for sure.
That was good. In fact, Mario commented on something in the post-game press conference, right? I think he said something.
Yeah, he did. He was stunned to see her. He's like, are you really back? Like, do I need to prepare myself for this? Like,
yes.
So yeah, it was comical for sure.
That was good. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro and catch his exceptional work there at The Athletic, and subscribe to the All Wide podcast, right?
The wide right. We make fun of the Seminoles with the podcast.
The Seminoles. Wide right.
That's right. Yeah.
There you go. So make sure you subscribe to that too. Manny, have a great week, my brother. We'll catch up on Friday.
All right, brother. Good talking to you.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Manny Navarro with our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. Use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.